So I guess we're going to start, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
How was the drive?
It was quick this time.
Yeah.
There was no traffic on 5, which is weird.
Do you come down here a lot to fish the lakes or no?
Nah, just for saltwater with the Purcells.
Oh, yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
I don't, we're so lucky up there. Delta, I don't even leave the Delta to fish anywhere, but I fished like 10 years. I just stay at the Delta.
Yeah.
So, it's in my backyard, so.
It's hard down here, dude. I mean, for me, I'm a rookie, of course, but a lot of pressure.
Well, I came up on Silverwood as a little guy.
Yeah.
When my dad taking me, he wasn't a bass fisherman, but that was like a big lake. And Paris, that it used to be full when I lived down here.
Yeah.
It's even smaller now.
Dude.
So coming down here, just our lakes are so big and the Delta's so big.
Yeah.
No
need.
I guess Delta guys are lazy, I think. It's so good. They travel. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
I love the Delta.
Yeah.
So I just keep fishing. It's it always skunks me. So,
yeah.
It's good.
So how was Toxic Day too? I didn't get to go.
Toxic Day was good. Toxic Day 2 was good. A lot of guys came out, a lot of other vendors. I hope they sold stuff. I try to keep a finger on the pulse, but it's a lot of work. I felt like I just should facilitate, so I didn't kind of sit at my booth. I kind of walked around and tried to get people to do stuff like take pictures at those fish things and try to have fun. It was great as far as I'm concerned. The whole point of those things is, so the whole point of Toxic Day really started because back in the day at this place called the Hook, Line, and Sinker, it was this little bait shop when I moved to the Delta. And when I moved here, I didn't fish or nothing. And it was 97. And it was a tight little community. And I was just 16. And my dad didn't bass fish. I just started to learn. So I started showing up at this bait shop. And nobody would talk to you. Because they're like, what is this guy? There'd be 5 guys in the shop talking and they'd shut up. And then slowly I just showed up with my little fiberglass boat, launching out of the back of my El Camino in high school. And they're like, man, that's a lot of work. And anyways, so it was like a community. It's like a small community on the Delta. And even when there wasn't tournaments and shit, people would come together and everyone knew each other's wives and kids. And even though there was a tournament community, it wasn't about the competition as much. And, kind of lately, I just walked away from that side of it a little bit, just for me. But sometimes when you see all your boys, that fish, the only time we would see them is at tournaments. And then you go home after weigh-in, everybody's worked hella hard and tired. So I miss those tight-knit community type things where there was no tournament or people just showed up to hang out and bullshit about fishing or whatever else. But the common bond, you go to those events and even Toxic Days, everybody that was there, if we were talking about politics or something, nobody would be friends. But all of it's gone,
because it's there. Fishing.
Yeah. So that was the whole point, is to get them together. So there's successes to me if people that came had fun and did good. So, both were good for me, monetarily wise, either way. But the second one was cool because I thought that more people got to show up and have a booth. And, you know what I mean?
How many vendors did you have at the second one?
How many you guys think?
At least probably 10 or 12, probably.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was there was some new companies that had never had a booth, and I told them if people wanted to come,
you just let them come.
Yeah, I didn't charge them or nothing.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just had an event for the community. I didn't want nothing. I didn't ask for nothing. I didn't, Chris and them came up from Underground, 86 Baits. There was Cal Coast, Subsurface, Jet Lures. I'm going to forget somebody, they're going to be pissed, but, Pond Scum. There was a lot of dope guys. Barrio guys came up and cooked and killed it.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor's a caterer. He's been cooking, doing the fried chicken and biscuits thing and all that stuff. And, he had some food at both of them or whatever. So, I don't know. It was cool. I think the people that showed up had a great time. The second one had that tournament and he did the raffles, so I didn't have to do that.
That's nice.
So, I think they were a success. Hopefully everybody else does. For me, I was happy, man.
No, I think it's a big, no one doing that on West Coast.
Yeah.
I don't think, you got Basset Nom was the closest thing down here, but it wasn't really all Swimbaits, kind of.
Yeah.
But it was a little more, Kevin Van Dam would show up or whoever, flipping frogs on your fucking foot and shit,
Yeah, I didn't want to have it just Swimbaits. I invited whoever. That's the draw, but I think it's kind of weird that, the line between swim baits and conventional. I don't understand why they're divided.
I agree 100%. I feel like a lot of dudes like do you fish only swim baits? Or will you fish drop shot? Will you fish everything?
For a long time, I fished only swim baits, but it was because like I was like I get enthralled in this toxic bait thing, and I make baits, and I've been selling baits to people like in numbers for a long time. Like, well, I had my other job, but so I just dedicated myself to figuring this out. I didn't throw only swim baits because I wanted to be cool, so to speak, or whatever reason. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to. If somebody throws swim baits and that's it, I don't care. It's fishing. It's their thing. But for me, it was more about figuring everything out. So now it's been like 10 years that I was only throwing big baits on the Delta, and quitting my job and doing this work with my shoulders. And I can't even go out and throw big baits all day anymore, to be honest with you. So this year I've been throwing the spy bait and the drop shot. And,
really?
Like I've done it all before. I fished since, like I said, 97. I didn't.
But it's cool to hear from a dude that you're respected, I think, in the swim bait community to go, yeah, I fish everything. Like Chris came on and was kind of like, I only throw fucking swim bait.
Yeah.
Gilbert only throws swim baits. You know, he said he'll throw a frog maybe here and there. But to hear a dude that is so involved in it like you go, yeah, I fucking fish everything, bro.
I think, like maybe what Mike Gilbert talks about swim baits, it's probably a little different than like what I'm talking about. Because my baits I started calling transitional swim baits because you fish them like a conventional bait a lot of times. It's not like a Huddleston. Butch Brown calls them plugs. Mm-hmm. It's cool. I don't care what you call them. It's just, it's a bigger bait. They get lumped in with swim baits. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really fun to throw big baits, but I think a lot of times people lose if they don't have that conventional side, because you learn a lot from, like, what I learned is like, it's feedback. If you don't know about fish movements or don't have confidence, you get very little feedback if you're only throwing the big swim baits and stuff. So sometimes picking up conventional is, it's just to have fun. Like, I just want to have fun and go fishing. If it's fun to only throw big baits, then cats should just do that. If people, but you shouldn't like not throw. Like people are like, don't just throw the big bait all day. Yeah, you should throw any big bait. If you want to learn to throw a crankbait, you should throw that all day too, but not for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Did you kind of change the outlook maybe the last couple years since you've been working on baits so much? You're kind of like,
I've been working on the equal. Like I've been selling a lot of baits for a long time before I went full time.
Okay.
But recently, like I get less time on the water now that I make baits, like far less time on the water. So when you don't get to fish a lot, it's not as easy to just throw the...
Because you're like, hey, I just want to catch some fish, bro.
Yeah, before I lived on the water for 8 years with I had my boat and my dock in my backyard. So I got to fish like every day. Like I didn't care if I blanked. I always got, I just win enough that I got lucky. Now I need to convert. So I picked up like this year I really tried to focus in on the spy bait. Not because
it's cool.
It's just a cool technique. It's crazy. Like it's like a whole system, So, and that's kind of comes in with the bait making too. Like I'm like, why do they eat this?
Yeah,
crazy looking thing. It's money though. I mean, it looks just like a fish, so they should. But, so I just been picking up stuff like that, and I used to do everything like fish lakes and saltwater. And then I just got so focused in on the bass, and then now I've been trying to branch out back to saltwater with going with the Purcells and Matt and for down here. And then I recently linked up with Mitchell Snotters from Snotter Marauders. Like he's just out there. He's always supported Toxic, even though saltwater guy, and just started having fun, just catching fish again. Like it wasn't so much now. Now it's not like a determined thing where I want to catch a big fish. Like it's fun, but I just want to have fun. Like I don't have so much time anymore.
So you're looking just to actually just get out and fish.
Yeah.
Like before you were like, I'm going with my 5 rods all done up with, you're like, no, I just want to go catch some fish.
Yeah. I got 20 rods in my locker, in my rod locker right now. Yeah. And, that's not normal for me. That's brand new. So, but I probably get like 50 days on the water a year now, which is like nothing for me. I was the same before the podcast. I was fishing maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. Okay.
And maybe twice a month now.
Yeah.
Which is like, fuck, dude. I mean, and I used to lake fish a lot. So I'd hit DVL in Paris a lot until I'm like, dude, I can go 15 minutes down the road and launch and hit the harbor or go out, Palos Verdes to Calicos, you know, like, so it's like,
Yeah.
you kind of
That's
got to
killer,
weigh it
bro.
out. It's like, fuck, dude. And my boat's like a hybrid, so it's, I have a low with a 60 on a 4-stroke.
Oh, I'd be out there all the time.
So, yeah, you know, you can do either one. And I love fishing, you know, Castaic or like, but it's, you got to pick it, especially because I don't own, it's not a business, but it just takes up a lot of fucking time.
Yeah.
You know,
for
and
sure.
I'm sure you feel the same way, but something that impressed me too is you do this full time then, right? This is your deal, Toxic Baits.
Yeah, second year, almost done.
Dude, congrats, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I agree. Like, that's fucking awesome to hear.
Yeah.
That's how you know this shit's for real. Like, a lot of dudes do this shit, but not a lot of dudes do it full time, you know?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard on the internet now because everybody is a big shot. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say that demeaning, but it's hard to see. Like, even I look at a company and they're like, "Oh, I sell swim baits," or, you know, whatever. You don't. I mean, anyone can front and say whatever they want to say about how many numbers they're selling and stuff. Like, so, you know, I mean, yeah. Like my wife, she bartends and stuff here and there. She doesn't work full time at all anymore. She helps me at home full time. So.
Does she help you build baits too?
No, she does the shipping and email.
Yeah,
she's
well-
down to, but I'm like, I don't want to shoot at sand. I have 2 other guys that help me. I have
Oh,
one
do you?
full time and then another guy, Tommy, who's been there a couple days a week. He's badass, but he has a regular job.
And
So,
you do it all in house, like paint, everything?
Everything's in house. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I do all the paint, and then those guys help me with the build style. You know, the building of the baits. Like,
Yeah.
he's been working with me for over a year, it's probably about a year with Dylan. He's pretty good though. I mean, he's working away right now.
That's cool,
So
dude.
shout out to Dylan. That fool's the man. I wouldn't be able to do stuff like this because
Yeah.
last year I went to the Classic and ICAST and really worked a lot. Tried to push the brand and was filming and everything and working by myself. And I think that's why my back and stuff is so messed up now, just because I work crazy hours now. Like,
And you did boost last year?
I didn't do boosted theirs. I went with Spiralite
Okay.
and kind of tagged along and helped with their thing. I learned a lot by going to those. And for somebody like me at this point, like, I don't want to, if I had a booth there, like, and it blew up, I couldn't make enough baits. I don't know. I make as many as I can. We make a lot, we make a couple hundred a month.
Do you think
give
you
or
could
take,
get
but
to a point where, like, you could make a production mold that would actually work? Because I know, like a full on, like, big production mold, like something big where you go
like
to
ABS style?
or like a because all of it is right now. Your baits are all wood, or are they all?
No, they're all resin.
Okay,
Yeah.
Do you think you could ever do something where you make it on have a company almost do
my own thing?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing about outsourcing is, shoot yourself in the foot. But I really don't like the idea of outsourcing internationally. So if I could find the right thing, then I would love to just be able to make more baits. But I would love to have my own shop that's
Yeah.
that big and employ people that need jobs, people that need a good job. There's there's plenty of people that are undervalued at their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a worker. I know that life. So, but in California, they make it really hard, like,
To have an employee.
to have one employee,
Yeah,
let alone
yeah.
federal excise tax for fishing, for everything manufactured, and employment tax, and and the list goes. And the more you make, the more they want. So if I make a lot or whatever, and then I pay my self-employment tax, I have to pay half of that for another employee.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
So, and then you want to pay them well, and it's California. So, you know what I mean? So,
And you live in NorCal, which is getting a little different up there, huh?
yeah, I pay, yeah, it's expensive. You know?
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, it's just, I always am trying to expand Toxic. I've been expanding it as we go, and just don't know where to go next. But I've looked at a lot of options, and I'm going to try to pick what's best for, to stay with my core values, I guess, as a person. Hopefully I don't have a sinking ship of integrity with me flying the flag. But you know what I mean? Like,
No, it's hard. I understand you 100% because even like taking on sponsorships, it's kind of like I could take on some fucking shit ass fuck, and be like, yeah, I'll make money, cool. But personally in my mind, would I be like, yeah, this is good? No. Like I want to back something that I think, like is good and great, and I back it.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, Nick, do you use this? Yeah, I use it.
Yeah,
Not like, Yeah, sure, bro. And I don't really fucking use it. You know, like
Yeah, no doubt.
you know,
No doubt. No
and,
doubt.
And
So-
it's a big. I think integrity is really big nowadays too to have that because a lot of people I think sell out really easy for everything. You know, it's easy nowadays, especially with Instagram and I always say this shit over and over. But and you've seen it, and I've seen you. How long have you done toxic baits for? Like full making like a. When did you make your first bait? How about that?
And I've been making baits forever, but my first like wooden swim bait that I made was in 2008.
Wow, dude.
The first wake and crank for my buddy Phil Dutra and me and my brother-in-law Tanner. So on the Delta, Danny's dad actually was one of the pioneers. Like those guys have been cranking down wooden baits, like modified larger wooden baits. For plenty of years and taking people's money on them. You know, it's nothing new. I'm not going to out their bait, but you know what I mean? The wake and crank wasn't like a brainchild of like, I need to do this. It had been, we didn't know that, but we wanted something we'd crank down. And then that Monster Jack came out. I seen a Monster Jack and those were really cool, but you know, I wanted a more aggressive action, and, you know, and then I didn't, dude, I'm not an artist at all, bro. I never even had an art class. People say that I make art. I make hammers, dude. I make tools straight up, bro. I have no desire. Like, I get some heat sometimes. Like, fools will hack on my carving, or like I do all my paint with rattle cans.
Do you really?
Yeah, like everything's with rattle cans.
That's fucking awesome, bro.
Thank you.
No, really, because it's amazing. It looks really good. Like I thought it was airbrush. I was going to ask you about airbrush too.
No, it's all rattle cans. Like I'm a straight hip hop.
Hey, yeah, but you got a little different technique with your hand than a regular person with a rattle can, right?
Well, yeah, you know, repetition.
You got all them tips, bro.
Yeah, I got all the tips. You know what I mean? And the good cans, but
you
know, but it's because I'm not an artist. Like there's the guys that make beautiful swim baits. Like I will never be that guy. I'm not an artist at all. So I just try to make tools to catch fish. You know what I mean? So I just started rudimentary putting them together, and action works, and we started catching fish. And we kind of refined it from there. And then I had this job at a refinery as an operator, and I was able to do work on the clock there. I could say that now because screw those guys. And I was working
because you were just sitting there watching
and they were cool.
Shit.
Like the workers were cool. Just management. It's always a drag.
Yeah.
But and I'd kill it, and we did a great job. So I'd be able to work on baits there. And Swimbait Underground, right when it first came out, Swimbait Nation was kind of like. They would stick by their sponsors, like, they'd nix people's comments.
They would?
Yeah, if they said like, oh, this bait does this, they would kind of like nix the comment, like he's a sponsor of the site. A lot of sites do, you know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
But Swimbait Underground came about, and then I was just kind of looking around like, man, I'm making these baits. I don't know crap about this stuff. I was tournament maniac, and found Swimbait Underground. And back then there was some sticks on there. Like I didn't even want to make a post. So started posting a little bit, and then I just posted fish with my baits. I didn't even say like, this is the bait I make. I was just like, that's what I fished, Yeah. And then people started asking, and then actually Travis Evans, he's from North Carolina. He bought a rat from me. It was right before that Chateaug college tournament that they won back in the day in the East Coast. But he bought a wooden rat, and then he hit me back, and it cracked me up because he was like, man, I got this bait. And I thought it was just going to be another garage bait. But it's badass, dude. I'm like, well, it's just a wood rat. It's just a wood rat that I was making. And then just slowly people started buying stuff. Like some of those guys that bought my first baits are still like customers or homies. Like Andrew Swaim, he named the Wake and Crank. I'd never even heard that term before. There was no wake and crank. He was just making fun of me because I was a stoner or whatever. And then now it's throughout the industry. I mean, I'm sure people will be like, "Guys, that was around," but it's the name of my bait. I wouldn't have named it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, anyways, so all those guys were around. I just kind of like built it from there, and then I was good at my job, but like you're supposed to hold your tongue, and then and other employees. I felt like I had to champion, I'd always be the tip of the spear, and talk to management. They didn't like me. So towards the end, 9 years in, they kind of gave me this ultimatum. Like, if you keep I was always right. I wasn't wrong, but like I was just
Challenging.
abrasive
You were
to
challenging.
management and
Yeah.
engineers and stuff. And then finally, like one of the supers blew up on me at a turnaround, and I was cool. Like he just lost it and started airing out personal stuff about my family and stuff. So I just went to the plant manager and I'm like, I'm done, man. Like I got this much vacation left. I got this left. And he, blah, 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 and then long story short, I blew that popsicle stand
Dude.
in January of last year.
10 years?
8.5 or 9 years. 9
Really?
years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a great job. But I mean, I don't know, man. I watched that Gary V cat. Everybody's Gary V Rob, but he said a quote like, if you're 99, I was 99% happy. So I said, fuck that shit. I need to be 100% happy.
Yeah.
That's what I looked at it.
Hey,
I was pretty miserable
I'm
with
going
that
to get a
job.
fucking divorce. I'm just kidding. Fuck having kids. I'm fishing all the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But, it was just kind of, and it wasn't a hard decision because crazily my old lady and my son, supported it. Like my family supported it.
That's cool.
Quit. I was making baits, so it wasn't like I was already like as many as I could make, I would sell. Like
You knew it was working already.
yeah, I was.
You knew Toxic Baits was working. Like it
Yeah,
was
it was
working.
established.
It was working. It was something.
Yeah, I had already done stuff with Chris at Swimbait Underground.
Yeah.
And then those guys had always been like, yeah, man, you could do it, dude. Like Ben at LDC was instrumental to giving me the ropes and telling
Oh,
me,
yeah, dude.
and
Cool guy.
and Chris is funny cat, and me and Matt Purcell have been cool forever. Like they came up on some trip and just stopped in, hit me up on the fucking gram or whatever it was, says slide through my old house on the water, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. And the online community is great, man. Like I've been to fish. I've been able to fish all over the nation and been able to host people at the Delta and show them that stuff.
That's cool.
And all I've met is cool people.
Yeah.
So, like my girlfriend used to make fun of my internet friends, like, oh, your internet friends. And now they fly across the nation to come out and chill at the house, and we just have drinks.
That's
and
cool,
It's,
dude.
yeah, it's dope, man. It ain't like the 90s where it's weirdos on America Online.
Dude, I know.
Like, cats
You
are
never
cool.
know, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm cool with, like, public. I'm way better, like, just meeting people online at
Yeah.
first. Because, a lot of people kind of bug me out,
I'm sure it's weird meeting new people. Like it sounds funny, but I don't meet, like, I don't talk to people. Like if I'm fishing, I don't even fucking when I'm launching, I just go later.
Yeah.
Now it's like people will be like, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "Hey, dude,
Yeah.
what's up?" It's kind of like it takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, smile and wave, boys.
Yeah.
Like the penguins.
bro.
Yeah, bro.
Smile
Smile and waves. Yeah. But it's amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's like I don't even know. I just fly by the seat of my pants
Yeah.
and just try to handle whatever I can and be do this job and be home for my family. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because I'm already like broken inside, so all I ever I don't have no hobbies or nothing. Like it's never
Just
been like that.
Fishing. And
That's all I think about. Anything.
music. You like
Always.
music, right?
Well, yeah.
So there's a hobby right there, bro.
Well,
See?
yeah, I'm just crazy hip hop. Like, but I could do fishing while I'm listening to hip hop and mentally critiquing, whatever it is. Like everything about me is hip hop, but like anything I do is fishing. Like it's so now that it's my job, my fam's like, yeah, do it. Now they're like, check out, bro. You got to check out, hang out and watch a movie or something.
And you got to check like your social media, your blah blah blah.
Yeah,
this,
and I'm trying,
orders,
and you got to
DMs.
manage. Yeah, you got to
Right.
manage the fam because they'll feel neglected. So it's really if somebody thinks like what I learned about going full time about baits is that people that want to do fishing full time that think they like fishing, you find out how much you like it.
Yeah,
Because like when it's like every day, that's all you talk about, and anyone ever calls you about. Like I think it would weed some cats out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I don't miss nothing for a football game. Like like hip hop shows are at night, but if I have to fish the next day, I'll miss the hip hop show. I did that.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of shows, like everybody. So
Yeah.
like I couldn't go. I wouldn't even be able to watch the show because I'd be thinking about fishing. Like I couldn't. I'm still that way. Like I don't sleep because I'm fishing, and It's like every day, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So I think it could weed people out. Like people could get burned out on it because my family's burned out on it.
I bet, dude. They fucking hear enough about it, right?
My whole house is full of gear and just there's lures everywhere. They're so great though that like they're stoked for me to do this and support it 100%. But I mean, it's tight. Like you wish for something and then you get it. You're like, damn, this is more than I expected.
No, I bet you have a shop too.
I work out of my garage and a 400 square foot thing in the back, so I have like a double shop.
That's fucking sick, dude.
It's already too small though. I have a 2-car garage in that room and it's too small.
How many molds do you think you have? Bait molds.
I don't know.
Like saved up and.
I try to run a lot per bait, so I have a lot of molds. Like,
Yeah.
And I have a lot of baits that I only have a couple molds for too that people never seen or done here.
You
or
have
there.
shit that you just made for yourself and will never put out.
No, I'll put it out someday. You know, it's like a lot of like it takes a long time. So,
I guess different versions of that bait, right? Because you got to tune the shit out of it, right?
Well, yeah, and to be honest with you, like, so you have the family, right? And like when you're making numbers, it takes away a lot from trying new stuff for me, at least, like, because I'm in there trying to, do like, whatever it is, 100, 200 a month, 300 a month, hard baits or whatever, plus some soft baits and everything else. So, it gets to be trying to go out there and like, if I can't fish, I can't test my new baits. Like, so I've never been able to send them to people. Like I could, but I was able to be on the water and fish them.
Do you have dudes that help you kind of test?
Oh yeah, all these guys,
right
all these guys. Yeah, like Phil Dutra, he's been instrumental with Toxic. He doesn't throw the big stuff. Like I'm kind of the guy that throws the big stuff that I know that's close on the Delta.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's like this guy Jun from San Jose. His handles MMA Sturgeon. He's caught some donkeys up there on my stuff. If I have something new, I like to send it to Jun. Because he'll crack them on it. You know what I mean? Regardless.
Will you paint them too, or you just give them like a clear and send it to them? So like when you're testing a bait out, do you actually fully paint it?
Oh yeah,
fully done.
Yeah, I know how
cool.
it swims. I just want to know like, do the
Holds
hooks
up.
hang?
Holds up. Okay.
Yeah, does like how does it perform? It blows out. Whatever it is. So like, there's certain guys I send it to like, and they give me the right feedback. But I'm a fisherman. Like that's how I do it. Like I really love what I fish. If I don't fish it, I don't build it. So I'm equally hard. I'm not like, yo, this is dope. It swims so good. Like, let me tweak it like this. Or what if it swims like this? The micro mink, which is one of my favorite baits. I fished it for a year and I fucking was ready to throw it away. I was like, this is trash. I can't get bites. It swam great.
Yeah.
I moved the body sectioning back like 3/8 of an inch. And I went from no bites to freaking lights out.
No way.
Yeah, that's all I did.
And it took you a year to do that?
Yeah, because why would that work? You know what I mean? Why would that? Why would that
so
be
funny,
effective?
dude. It's so funny.
And then, or maybe I just sucked for the year before. There's no real way to know. But yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of like, I don't have like a schedule or nothing. You can probably tell by the way I talk. I'm like all over the place. If I have an idea, I just do it like right then. Like just drop everything and just do it. Like I just made some huge frog, 5-ounce frog. And I did it in one day. I was sitting on the couch and then everything molded, poured it, everything went out and threw it the next day. And a 12-aught beast hook. It weighed 5 ounces. And I got a few boils. It's just been sitting.
Really?
I'm going to refine it, but I like it for octopus. It looks like a good octopus lingcod bait. Yeah. So maybe that'll go. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like there's so many molds and crap and things around. And then once you get something to go, I just try to duplicate the molds to make it easy. Andrew Hinkle gave me that advice before I started full time. He said, you want to make baits, make sure you have a lot of molds. Yeah. That's true.
No, I agree 100%.
It's just expensive, but you gotta spend money, make money, I guess.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So. And then what about so you don't have any patent stuff on any of your stuff? It doesn't really. I
don't have the lawyer to back me.
Yeah,
I'm flying. Like,
do you think people rip off your shit?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't even look.
I don't know. I mean, people could say that the Wade Hogs is like a rip off of the lipped shell cracker if they wanted to. It's different joint, lip, head, everything. I don't know. Like, I don't really care, to be honest with you. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to move forward. Like if people that would be crazy if people knock off, people say that my baits are ugly and shit, and then somebody knocks off my bait, like, whoa, yo, that's crazy. I'm like, I don't care.
See how ugly it is, bro? You like it.
Like, you know, like it would be awesome to get big, like to be able to have like a cheaper line so everyone can throw them, you know? But I did all the math, you know. I'm not trying to rip anyone off, you know, with the market and stuff. I try to give good prices with margin and stuff. So, like, you know, I don't know.
You're doing the best you can.
Yeah, of course. I'm an angler.
Yeah.
I'm an angler. That's how I look at it. Would I buy this? Would I fish this?
Yeah.
You know, straight up. And all I care about is how, you know, there's beautiful works of art out there. I would never compare my baits to that. Other people say, oh, you know, but how I look at it is this bait function? Can I make a lot of them, like in an efficient way? And can I paint them that looks really good and still do that efficiently? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to take the flippers out. Well, when I was first doing it, like people were flip. And now I just saturated the market with crazy amounts of baits over like this past 6 months. I've been dumping stupid amounts of baits out with pre-orders and stuff. And it seems like the flipper market's been kind of gone for.
So what do you say if someone doesn't know what a flipper?
If somebody like if a bait's in high demand and you can't get it, so somebody will get it and sell it instantly, like buy it for $115 and then flip it for a profit. I mean, I guess that's capitalism and the way things are, but you know, in the community, if you're down for the community, it's kind of sucks, you know, that you would do that.
Trying to make money off a fellow.
I see both sides though. Like, you know, some people want to spin that guap and get baits, you know? So like it's positive and negative, but Mike Bucas said that. He's like the king of making numbers of hard baits, I think. And it was on a thread somewhere and he was just like, you want to kill flippers, just make more baits. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just make more baits. I got nothing wrong. Yeah. You know, I got no problem with that. So I just try it. It's a lot of work, but you know, what are you going to do? You know,
do you have like a mentor that kind of showed you the ropes? No. Kind of learned everything on your own. I mean, you probably had forums and shit.
I've never even watched I used to go on Tackle Underground and kind of look, but there was no Swimbait stuff really for the most part. And then maybe like one or two Larry Dahlberg videos, but I'm like staunchly not a video watcher. I'd rather like twiddle my thumb. I don't know what I listen to hip hop probably. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like people consume videos. If I'm not fishing, it's all hip hop, like all freestyles online, like everything. I've watched all the videos. I was an operator at a refinery for 9 years. I've watched every fishing video except for the new stuff. I try to tune into Matt Allen and cats, you know, but you know, I just like kind of cruise on autopilot.
So when you were making like your joints and stuff, your jointed baits, did you kind of like go, okay, what would work best in my eyes or what?
Yeah, you know, actually like the Monster Jack and stuff have the V notch, and I thought that inhibited motion. That's why I use that screw eye to screw eye joint for most part. Like that's why I went with that. Nothing. I know it doesn't. No one was using that except for guys in Japan, and people would even hack on me like, "Whoa, what's wrong with that joint, bro?" But it worked. Like. It worked. I read an article back in the day about Scott Whitmer with triple trout before I even knew who Scott Whitmer was. Yeah. And he made the bait, and they went and tested it with the little diamond gill and the eyeball. And he was like, all right, it works good. I'm going to shape it up. And his boys were like, don't shape that shit up. That shit is dope. Like, don't change it. So not that I modeled myself after that, but like, you know, they just work. So what am I, you know, why change it? It's hard to change something that works. So just kind of just cram it home. I just started making what I felt, and I make different jointed baits now. I always have. I just felt like for what those baits did, that joint worked really well, and it was different, and it allows for huge amounts of water movement and disturbance in the water because it's open like that. It makes a squeak because the screw eye to screw eye. You know, dude, it's like horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm not like a guy who writes it out and like maybe this will work. I just try it, and then if it doesn't work, I just throw it in the trash, and then just try again. That's the way I do it. So hopefully I don't burn my hand on the grill, you know, but that's how I roll, man.
What's the most time you've tuned a bait? Like how many times you built that bait? So like say you tried it, you had to tweak it. Do you carve them again? Do you
the bugle lips that I have, I've fished for frickin' years and years, and I've crushed them on it. And I just won't drop it. It's not all the way right yet, I guess. I don't think it's right for the market more than like the fish like it. Yeah. But it has such a weird, clumsy action that people won't mess with it. Like it's the eye slide, like the big eye slide. it's such a great bait, but since you have to work it with the rod tip and impart the action more than just reel it in, that it gets kind of shunned over a little bit. It's just, it works for some people and not, but I feel like that way with that bugle lips. That's why I haven't dropped it.
Yeah.
I have videos of me cracking decent fish on it and stuff. It just has a weird lip. And, so yeah, I mean, I'll try to, if a bait's good, I'll do it like right away. But if it's not good, then I'll just sit there and maybe I have a shiner I've never built. It's like one of my oldest baits, a mini shiner, like a 5-inch shiner. I've probably made a dozen.
Yeah.
And it catches fish, everything. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It probably would work really. I don't know. It just sits there,
Not ready yet. It's not,
I guess if it's ever ready, sometimes
Yeah.
you have an idea that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's okay to just abandon ship, I think,
Which is a good thing to tell people, because I'm sure people waste a lot of fucking time making a bait and maybe it's just not the right one,
Yeah, like when I started, I would build baits until they wouldn't work. Like I would just tune it, drill it, and then I'm like, damn, it didn't work. Now I got to figure out where that sweet spot was again. And then just so like now I can, with the new, but like the trout, like the new Trucha.
Did you bring that one down?
Yeah, that's
that
what
what
I
you're selling?
brought. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I eyeballed the ballast on that. Like not
Really?
eyeballed, but I looked at it and I looked at the volume, like I just pour water in it in the mold and then measure it in a Pyrex cup. I'm like, that's about this many ounces, And through previous experience, I just freaking just estimated at it. And it's like, it's cool because it's getting to the point to where I look at something like, hey, it probably needs this many grams of this and this many grams of that. And then freak it and it works. So with a little tuning or whatever. So.
Yeah, you've been doing it long enough. Fucking what now? Almost 15 years, 14 years? I mean,
I don't even know it. Yeah, that's crazy.
right?
I didn't even think about
2008, 12 years,
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And then before that, I built like some crankbaits and jigs and stuff. So, but yeah, it's and what's crazy about making lures is that like as a profession, I think, and especially hiring people, there's no like journeyman. There was no like someone to teach me.
Yeah.
There was no, it was just go.
Yeah.
And people it probably would have been smart to watch videos, but maybe that's why I got my, the whatever style I have. I don't tweak out over the joint looking this way or that way. Like, and then I read Bob Murphy's book and right in there, he's like photo finish baits have been the least productive colors for me.
Shit.
And even though it's crankbait's not the same,
Yeah.
I still believe like Huddleston's and those are just phenomenal lures and they're not the same, but you could still get the bite on baits that aren't exactly replicating nature.
But you think you're looking more for the action of the bait than you are
Action?
the paint.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For most part, I'm sure like pressured fish though, like you guys down here and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Crazy. Like my bad, like when I'm fishing hard baits a lot of times, and especially pressure water, I reel as fast as I can. Like,
Yeah.
I don't matter what it is. Just reel it.
See, I don't know
catch
yet
it.
down here because this year I'm really going to try to catch me a good swimbait fish.
Cool, man.
I threw one of those battle shads for calico and they fucking smashed it.
Oh yeah,
Dude, it worked really fucking good.
that's the best weedless, I think.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it, but it's hard on the pocket, man.
Oh yeah. But if you look at it, that's a crazy design. Like
No, I back it. I think it's worth 100% what
yeah.
it, what
But for
he charges.
calico,
A
yeah.
calico, I was like, oh.
Tell them pour that saltwater mix.
Yeah, we need that saltwater mix, Mike. But yeah, I mean, it's I think it's a little harder down here. Like the only thing I've thrown is like a Gangraft and like some S waivers last year, and that
you
was
guys get
it.
pressure, man. Like we get pressure up at the Delta now, but I whine about it. But I still go out on a Wednesday in the afternoon, and there's no one on like in Frank's Track, which is a community hole.
Yeah,
And there's like a boat. So
yeah. When you go here during the week, I'll go, and there's still, if I'm not there by opens at 6, if I'm not there by like 5:15. If you get there at 6, there's probably like 15 people in line at the lake.
yeah, that's
10
wild.
people in line. Yeah.
And,
Well, at
and
least
your
when
lakes
I
are
went,
small.
at least-
Yeah, and your lakes are
Yeah,
small too. That's
yeah.
the thing. Like the Delta is like 1,000 miles of water range.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's so close to home. That's why it's like it's really cool. Like where else are you gonna go that you can catch? Like people don't understand. Like every year, mid-teen fish come out of there. Like,
Crazy.
on crankbaits, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's giants that need to be punched out. Like it's a trophy fishery, but it gets you know, like all the other lakes are really amazing fisheries around us too. So
What are your other lakes you like to fish up there?
I used to like to fish. Like I honestly haven't. I
Just
don't go.
that's
But
it,
like
right?
I used to like Folsom. People hate Folsom, but
I like
really
when I like Folsom, man.
yeah, I like Folsom.
Yeah.
Maloney's is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been in other places so long, but it's like they're all cool. They're all like really big reservoirs with steep lines, and it's different. Like when I went back east and fished, their stuff's different. So the trout eaters up here is like big, deep bluffs and big, long points, and like I don't care like what the lake is. You know, like all of them will be my favorite the day I'm there, and then when I leave with no fish, so I'll hate them the worst. The only lake I don't like is Clear Lake, and everybody will chastise me for that, but I hate
Everyone
that.
loves that
It's a
lake.
clone factory. When you go and you catch 400 4-pounders, they love it. You know, it's dope, but I just don't like the
Clone factory.
Yeah, I don't like where it's at. I don't like the city around it. You know, like it's, you know,
Not your scene, huh?
yeah, but I mean, I'm an idiot probably. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone knows it's a dope lake. Like you could catch a lot of fish, but the
Yeah.
only place that I don't like to go is Clear Lake, just because it's so far from everything. There's nothing that's worth the crap like around it to eat, and it's a clone factory. So like now I'll probably I want to go throw spy baits there. I was thinking like, oh, I could catch 100 on the spy bait, big ones. But going there for swim bait fish, recently they've been kicking out big fish, and like guys like Matt Allen and Paul Bailey and those guys smack them on that lake. On the big swim baits, but it's tough on that lake with swim baits. Like for the most part, it's not easy pickings at all.
Yeah.
Like those guys that throw HUDs on there and stuff, they're doing work, man. Those guys are. So I like it. It's just like those, just like, you know, there's like a ceiling to the fish there too, like 11, 12 pounds right now. It used to be 8, 9, 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And now you don't see those. Like with so many fish, you'd think they'd be giants in there.
Yeah.
But they're stubby or whatever it is. So, I don't know. I'm and it fishes like the Delta a lot too. So why drive that far?
Yeah, you got it right there. Right? How far
Yeah.
are you from the Delta?
Oh, 100 yards.
Oh, you still dock
I'm not
right?
on the water, but
Okay.
I live in a condo that's like right down the street.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. I've lived at.
So it's like, why would you go anywhere else? It's like, fuck, really?
yeah, I store my boat at Russo's and drive there and dry dock and go across the street and launch.
Oh,
like
fuck.
from the dry dock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like Cheers. You know, everybody knows your name. Look, all the fish know my name because I'm lazy now and I don't go anywhere. I just cherry pick. You know.
There you go, dude.
But I'm actually with this bait. A lot of it has to do with I never made trout baits, and I'm always toxic. So now with this
This is your first trout bait?
true trout bait that's I think worth like a hard bait that you could apply to
Yeah.
big trout eaters. All right, yeah. So the Trucha came about just because I wanted a trout bait, and to be honest with you, I wanted a lipless trout bait.
So is this your first trout bait then?
Yeah, dedicated like 10-inch large
Yeah.
to imitate stalker trout for lakes that have trout eating bass.
Mm-hmm.
I really try to stick in my wheelhouse with the crank downs. I make glide baits and stuff. I just don't sell them. There's so many great swim bait makers that make great glide baits. Even with the market being saturated, I can make a good glide bait, but I mean, there's guys that make really great glide baits. It's cool. Like I'm cool with just staying in my wheelhouse and like my little part of the market. So this started out to be a certain type of lipless bait. Jack actually has one that's dope. I sent one to somebody else too, to Danny Rago, to fish. It's a little different. It's a hard bait. It's kind of loud. It needs to have silencers maybe for the lipless version for what some guys want to do. But the whole point was to make it dart out, right? Like to swim in like a triple trout or some bait like that, ball them, and then pause it or rip it and it shoot out instead of just folding up. And it worked, but I learned like the body shape that I used kind of leaned better towards helicopters bombing us.
By the airport, guys, sorry.
But it kind of leaned better towards maybe, it was cool. Like I like it. I have a lipless version, it's good, but I always, I'm looking at it and I love crank downs and I'm like, man, I bet you this will crank down, right? So I tried one joint kind of setup, and to tell you the truth, the body sectioning was the same, but moving screw eyes and pin locations around from this section to that, I don't look at other baits for inspiration, like what I should build. But when I am building something, if I'm doing something and there's somebody else that's done something similar, I look at it to see, You know, I don't cut them open, and I don't need to do that. I look at it, you know, I check it out. So I looked at some other baits, and the screw I set up is right. Like, this is so perfect. And I shoved a lip in it and went and swam it, and it was like, I'm like, I think I can get it better. And then I changed some ballasts and came up with that and was like, screw the lipless. You know, this is money. Very little head movement. Not a big snaky action. Had more of a snaky action, and right before I dropped them, I did this tail because the other one was real thin. But it seemed like with this bait, you want a more substantial tail. So we made this tail, threw some mesh in it so the toothpicks, it doesn't pull out.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
It adds some labor, and my tails are soft, so a lot of my tails will rip out on my other baits. You know, it just is what it is.
But you sell replacements, correct?
Yeah, and a lot of guys don't do that, and the tail stays in, but the soft tail gives a different action is the whole reason. So those ones, people are paying a substantial amount of money for it, like $165 retail. I understand that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make a tail that would match the bait, basically, durability wise and stuff. Like, it's one of the first baits I've released with that joint setup. That's kind of normal to cats. It hides the gaps better. I feel like with my weight hogs and my wake and crank, the open gap is fine, but once you have a bunch of gaps in there, actually, I made baits like that and they still catch fish, but I can't even look at it. Like, I understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand. But this came out really good, and it's just kind of like you have an idea, and I was talking to another builder, and they're like, oh, when you build this, like, man, if you can't get it to do what you want, don't you just, like, tweak on it? And, like I said, I'm good with scrapping it. Like, sometimes something is better used a different way, for whatever reason, and then I try to learn from it. So with this one, everything worked out, and I noticed the attributes, so I kind of fine-tuned it a little bit. And to be honest with you, the Wade Hogs lip is the one I use. I try to use different things across different platforms to help myself to be
And you make your own lip?
No, I have a company in San Diego called E-Plastics. Make them. They're an awesome company.
But they make all your lips. Like, you just tell them the dimensions. This is what
I send
want.
them. My buddy Austin, he builds hot rods and does CAD.
Okay.
So I send him dimensions.
Perfect,
he sends me like
dude.
a DXL file or something like that. And then I send it down to this guy named Travis Scott at E-Plastics. I just made an order this morning, to be honest with you. I just send it in. I'm like, yo, I need to reorder. Cool. That's good. So
But still, it's cool. It's I consider that you made it because you designed it.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
I don't
you
use any
made-
prefab lips ever.
You
no.
made that. Yeah.
And the lips I use are like a 16th or a 32nd thinner. I use 3 32nds thickness against, what would that be, 1/16th?
Yeah.
Or whatever the next jump up is. Or so it's just a little different. It's because I used to buy Lexon at Home Depot, and that was the thickness, and it's pretty tough, but sometimes it snaps if you hit something. But and they're cool. Like, I got this thing from this East Coast guy that's been my customer forever. He used to own a plastics company, and once I said, man, I really need to find a cutter, it was hard to go through CNC, water jet, I don't know. Like, I'm literally just like a blind man with a cane walking through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like for real, like guys like Mickey at 316 and Matt from Matt Lures and Scott Whitmer and Huddleston and Alan Cole, whoever, there's dudes that are just like those guys before the internet were building swim baits full time. That's fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are like and Jerry Rago, of course, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, they paved the way for me to do this, like with what they do, with no blueprint, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just kind of stay in my wheelhouse and watch what everyone's done and build baits that's true to me. Like, I build baits that I fish. I fish glide baits. I've caught big fish on glide baits, but this is my shit. Like, crank downs, that's my shit. Like, I love it. I do it every time I'm out.
Yeah.
That's what I want to throw. I don't even throw soft baits, really,
No.
to be honest with you. Rising Sun, 316 Rising Sun, 8-inch. One of the best line throughs ever made. The fit, for more than durability, whatever, the fish smoke it.
Yeah.
And for where I fish, the Delta, for the most part, the Battle Shad is the best weedless soft bait I've ever seen. Like, the whole design, Like the Citizen's cool. It's a top pour. I understand why he's doing it, but like for real, like bait making stuff, like that battle shad has got me in love, especially because we have shiners and stuff. I just don't get to fish anymore, but I mean, it's on point. Mike killed it with that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like cruise around and do my thing and do the best I can, and then chuck it at fish. We've been fishing for this for a year, actually.
Wow, dude.
Not almost a year. Last winter, so maybe less than a year. But I haven't caught fish at the lakes, but on the Delta, we've cracked stripers. Dudes that don't throw swim baits have thrown it and caught fish, like good fish, all the way around. It's durable and stuff. So, I just kind of like, send it, I guess. With the skirts, this was like a cool idea. I thought, some people hack on me for the way I do shit, but, like, because they look really good in the water, the skirt fin, the skirted fins.
Yeah.
So.
And my hat's off to you, dude. On the paint job is fucking great, dude.
It's killer. I appreciate it, man. Like
for fucking a rattle can, that's fucking no joke, bro.
Well,
what do you put on the clear?
It's just 2K,
Really?
Auto clear. That's the best. Like, it's the best that I've found.
Yeah,
I'm sure people might know.
Yeah.
Other things.
No, but it looks great, man.
Yeah, it's just glossed up. Like. It's different with spray cans. You have to do a little bit of thing, and I can't, you can't bridge gaps. I can't like spray certain baits over it to highlight. So, and I've thought about getting an airbrush to kind of like do fancier stuff, but like I said, I make hammers. Like that's my, I love that. It's not like I don't see it as a negative. Like I make baits that if I didn't feel like the paint job was going to be effective, I wouldn't sell it.
Yeah.
So I try my best. Actually, this dot pattern is going to be a pain for trout baits because they have to go over the back and be seamless. And I seen this video and I didn't know, I use stencils and stuff. And I kind of made this little video about like, I'm going to make this new stencil. I seen somebody do it. And Nate from Nate Baits actually reached out to me, like another builder. And we're like, yo, I seen your video, dog. Like, you almost got it right. Here's what you should do.
Yeah, great. Right?
Super dope.
Like, cool, yeah.
Like you hear about all this drama in the industry, and I don't see it. Like there's some fools that don't like me in the swim bait game, or I'm sure. Like, and before I did swim baits for a living, like, there's all kinds of weird stuff, and if somebody runs their mouth, I'm gonna run my mouth back. It is what it is. So, there's a lot of like turmoil that people like to bring attention to, but. Hinkle's the homie, Piz is the homie. Like, I've never had any bad altercations with Mickey at 316, Scott Whitmer. Like, everybody's been super cool. Matt, even Nate. Like, I didn't even know he knew who I was. You know what I mean? Like, reach out, help out. So, it's an awesome community of, like, I guess it's kind of small. There's not a bunch of bait builders. Well, there is a bunch of bait builders, but, it seems like once you start doing it a little more than most.
It's like a smaller. I say this shit all the time. It's Instagram. It is. Well, it's Instagram because you don't. One person sees someone doing something good, and I'm not saying there isn't other people that do it good too. And there's great companies that came out of Instagram, but you see someone get some kind of like everyone wants to get sponsored off of fucking fishing private lakes or whatever it might be. Everyone wants to make a bait. Everyone wants to make a shirt company. Everyone wants to make a fucking
It's okay. You just let them. You just gotta like weather the storm, I think.
Yeah.
This guy gave me this advice back in the day that owned Albany Steel. He passed away. I was doing concrete back then. Before the refinery job, I did concrete. And I was doing side work for him, huge deck and stuff. And I was like, economy's down and I don't know what I should do with this. Should I get a license or... And he gave me the best advice ever. He said, every 10 years, you're going to see a recession. Like, I've been through it. And as long as you stay in a handshake relationship with your customers and stay in touch with the people that support you and do good work, when the recession's over, it weeds out the little guys. So I think it's just time, not even recession. Like everybody wants to jump in and, do the new shit. But after that fades, all the sizzle fades, you have the guys that are still there. So like, I just do this because I have to. Like, I'm broken. Like I said, I'm broken. I can't work a job. Like, I can't. I'm abrasive. And I think about this so much. Like, I think about fishing. So like I'm serious. Like I don't even understand how motherfuckers are like sports fans and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that that's why I say I'm broken, because I know I'm not normal and I'm not trying to down people, but I mentally don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, all I fucking think about is fishing. Like if I in here, I already told you, like right here, there'd be a fish right here, and behind that thing, that's where the bass would be holding over there. Like every room, I look at where fish would be holding and cover if there was current. Yeah, it's just how like in Board Identity, when it's like I already memorized the license plates, and I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, dude,
they're like the equalizer, bro. You turn the fucking watch on.
I go out and fish and it doesn't convert, but you know what I mean? Like there's something wrong in my head that I'm fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool. I roll with it.
Well, I think it's fucked up. You have a passion and you love something, man.
Yeah.
You really love it, you know?
It's bad.
Yeah. No, so, I get it 100%, man. Like when you love something, it's like you put everything. Like to me, I always say is doing this podcast is like playing music to me again.
That's tight.
Being in a band again, it's like I get to put music out, and I loved when back, you know, it'd be like you get, you know, a shitload of people to come to your show, sing along, you know, mosh should be fucking great. And then that's kind of like the same thing now. It's like, oh man, people are fucking stoked on it. Or so I get it 100%, dude. But well, fuck, where can they get a hold of you if they don't get paid?
Dude, every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, that's when I drop. Like that's what I try to do. It's just every Monday now.
So every Monday you put them out.
I put out whatever I'm going to build, and about 7 to 10 days later they ship. It should be a week, but there's always something that comes up. So like they're built, but then we like finish, you know, everything's ready. Like I don't sell baits before I know they'll be ready, but they're not, you know, like the paint scheme's laid out and stuff. And then just the arduous process of like working with, you know, the family, everything. It just takes time. It really does. Like it's hard with sometimes, like customers are so understanding, but sometimes you get one and I'm like, man, like, oh man, you could have made that. I'm like, dude, if you really think that I wake up at like 5 and go to sleep at kind of early 10 or whatever, but I'm all day with this.
That's not fucking early, bro. That's late, dude. I want to go to bed at fucking 9.
Oh, dude. I'm on grind time, but it's not like I have to. I'm like in there crying. I'm like trying to watch a TV show, and I'm like, yo, what if I add 2 grams to that back section of that bait? Maybe it'll do this. Yeah. And then I'm down in there, and my fucking old lady's like, what the fuck, man? Come eat your,
This is movie night, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, yeah. It's movie night. Yeah. And I'm like looking around like a little kid, you know? Yeah. But they're cool. They understand. Like they know that I'm not like, fuck this movie. Yeah. It's just that
it's your attention span. You're like on bait. Yeah.
It's on everything. Squirrel. You know what I mean? Like I lose my keys nonstop because if I walk in the house, there's fish and shit, and I just, who knows where they go. Yeah. It's gone. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm just, you know, it's just toxicbaits.com. I have a website. Follow Instagram. Yeah. Instagram's kind of dying. I'm trying to get up on that TikTok life. You know what I'm saying? With the kids. I ain't even tripping, bro. Fuck that You know what I'm saying? See, fuck that shit. Don't trip. You can catch me dancing the jig or whatever, like river dancing on TikTok, slinging bass. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be on there, but, you know, you got to stay with the times, you know? And like my YouTube channel, I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm trying to push on YouTube, stay relevant, you know? Like you can find me, bro. Like contact@toxicbaits.com. My wife answers that. She'll answer you.
Oh, really?
I get crazy fucking amounts of messages, crazy. But if you see me on TikTok, just, you know, throw me a like. So, for real, TikTok, Toxic Bait Suck. Everybody's laughing. I'm about to be up on the platform.
I won't be following that shit.
Yeah, Instagram's organic reach is dead, folks. You know,
hey, dude.
If you want to run a small business, you got to be on top of that. So I try to stay in touch with everything. But yeah, watch Instagram and toxicbaits.com. That's the place to be.
Great. And thanks for coming down to.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for hosting me.
Part of our theme tomorrow, dude. I'm stoked.
Hell yeah. I can't wait.
It'll be fun.
I can't wait. We drove down today. Yeah. We just got here. And then Sunday we'll drive home.
There you go.
You know?
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Listen to the next one coming up right now.